Right. Good evening once again. Uh, I want to sincerely welcome you all back to the class. This is day 2 Python programming. Started yesterday, and in case I have some individuals here who could not make it to yesterday section, yesterday was just practically introduction to Python programming. Um, I know I've dropped the link. I've uploaded that video now. You should be able to access it on our YouTube page. And like I encouraged us yesterday, we try as much as possible to subscribe. That is the best you can do for yourself so that you can continue to get updates. Cyber security section will be coming up tomorrow evening by 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. and is totally free, and it's just a one-time class. After that, tomorrow it will end, and then those that want to continue, we enroll for it. So we are looking at an avenue of making cybersecurity to run every Monday, that 8 to 10 p.m. So the costs of learning the full package will be disclosed in tomorrow's section, but it's going to be a very discounted price. So persons have already started calling, and I said they should hold on till that tomorrow. We want to look at the number to see how we can bring in down to an amount that anybody can afford, since it's going to be kind of a crowd funding system. All right. So I want to believe that even those that were not in the yesterday section, I want to sincerely apologize for not bringing the video to us on time. I was having some technical glitches, and I was able to rectify it. So I know there's not enough time for you to have gone through it, but I know some of us will have gone through it. So yesterday we actually lay a solid foundation. We talk about the definition of Python as one of the high level interpreted programming language, which is vast, which has wide coverage in most application of technology. And then we highlighted that Python has a lot of libraries that helps um, individual practicing in cybersecurity, data analytics, AI automation, generative AI, and so many other aspects of technology to strive. Right. So tonight is we are not going to talk more story. Tonight is more of practical. In fact, going forward now is practical. So I'm going to try as much as possible to discipline myself, to calm down, so that we can get it. So why it looks a bit rushing yesterday, well, because it was an introduction. So I need to cover a lot of the theoretical aspects. So you'll be working and we will be working together, right? So this is like a workshop. That is why I really wanted us to install, and I know many people have installed. And for individuals that have not installed, please try and private chat me so that I can create time to attend to you before the next Saturday section. So we talk about a development environment which we have all set up, which we describe as the IDE. Various applications out there that we as programmers can use to write, execute our code. And we tested one yesterday, which is the PyCharm, which is the sole IDE for writing and implementing Python codes. We confirm it with some of the basic syntax of Python. We talked about comments as a way of explaining your code either to yourself or to the third party. And then we also looked at an output function in Python, a function that everybody or anybody that understands Python must know, which is the print command, which helps us to output our results after writing the code. And then tonight we are going to continue from there, but we are we are still on the basic syntax because I could not really complete them yesterday. So with the diagram I have on the screen, we are on printing command. So we have settled that. So subsequently, we keep using the printing command. So if you are having any issue with almost everything we did yesterday, most of them, if not all, will be repeated as we proceed with the class. So I am going to continue with string concatenation. String concatenation. So that will take me off from my slides, and then I will continue to use comments to outline my topics. So this is Visual Studio Code, which is also used for Python coding, right? So I told us yesterday that comments are very necessary. So the way you write comment here is different from the way you write comments. Sorry, it's the same thing. I was thinking of web development. So the way you write comment here is the same thing the way we activated it yesterday. Remember that we simply held down shift button and press letter 3. That is how I'm getting this hash. Now, in Visual Studio Code, this is another IDE. So we need to also understand how to work around its environment. So here, this is where you execute your code. And another thing I want us to learn while using Visual Studio Code, you can actually change the background color. So just like I'm training us now, if you feel that this background color, you are not seeing clearly what I am doing, you can change it to another color. And that is what I want to quickly show us. So you come to this setting, if you can see my navigation button or icon, click on the setting and that will pop up this. And then you go to themes. From theme, you select color theme. So you're going to see different color. So I can say I want to go to dark, and then you can see that I have been able to change the color. So I want to ask, one person should respond. Which one is better for your visual over there? Can we leave it on this black? Are you seeing the content better than when it was white? I just need 2 people to respond so that I'll know whether to leave it on this black background color.
Black is better, Olafabeku.
Okay.
White is better.
Election have come, APC and PDP. Oh
I
yeah.
I think
Oh
I think
yeah.
I prefer the
Who
white.
is the
I prefer the
INEC
white color.
chairman?
I
Okay,
prefer
white.
black.
Okay. That is the 2-2 now. So we need more
Okay,
votes.
black.
Okay, black is having it now. So
The black is okay. The black is
uh,
okay.
I'm the Senate president. So the high have it. So let's go with the black. All right, please, sorry, those people that voted for white, don't be angry. Don't worry. You can use the white to code so you enjoy it over there. Okay. So now, another thing again you need to understand, because when you talk of flexibility, actually, Visual Studio Code is more flexible. That PyCharm is for big bros. When I say big bros, that is core programmer, people who have master programming. You can navigate. You can see all the process we went through yesterday. Then here, another thing I want you to know. If, for example, you are not seeing my code, probably they are too tiny. How do I magnify it? You hold down the control button on your keyboard and press plus. So you can see as I'm doing that, I am able to auto magnify. If I want to shrink it, I will hold down the same control button and press minus. So if you are using Visual Studio Code, in fact, I will encourage everybody to have these two IDE, because Visual Studio Code will not make any difference as far as your system speed is concerned. It's very light. It's one of the lightest IDE as far the professional ones are concerned. That is why it's most used. All right. So it's respond faster. If you were to be the other one now, sometime if your system speed is not high, you will experience some slowness. Now, another thing again we need to understand, like I told us, for those that are using Visual Studio Code, you have to install Python extension. If it doesn't install automatically itself, you have to install the extension. Just run this. So installing the extension here, this is where you go. You click here. So if I type Python, you type Python. Remember that while doing this, you must be on the internet. If you type Python extension, you are going to see different extensions. So this is one of the extension. But right now, I have already installed it automatically. I have already installed it automatically. So I do not have to install it. But I'm just going through this in case you did not go through installing the Python itself before running this. So from here, you can get the extension installed. Now, the next thing you need to know is, how did I got here? So the way you work here, just like, remember that yesterday we have to create a project. If you remember, we have to create a project. And in that project, we now created a file. So the same process that is, adopted here. So how I'm going to do that? So I'm going to leave the Visual Studio Code. Then I'll make a folder. This is how you are supposed to start for those that are using Visual Studio Code. So you right click on an empty space, then you go to new, and then you make a folder. So let's name that folder Python underscore class. Python underscore class. So I've used that name before. That's why I'm getting this. So let's say Py underscore class. All right. Now, once you have created a folder like this, you go back to the Visual Studio Code, you open it. Now, the next thing you are going to do is to incorporate that project file inside your development environment so that you can write your code directly inside it. Please, I need at least one person to comment if we are getting it so that we can move on. Just to confirm if everything is going well. Just one person. Are we good?
Yes, sir. It's going
All
well,
right.
sir.
All right. All right. All right. So now the next thing is, how do I bring that folder Py underscore class into my IDE? So you go to file, just like yesterday. Remember that we click on that hamburger in a situation where you can't find the file. So click on the file and then go to open folder. So from open folder, and then it's going to prompt your system storage. So you are to navigate to exactly where you created the folder. So we created the folder on desktop, and then I'll tap on desktop and then scroll looking for the name of that folder, Pi. And then once you get to letter P, You should be able to see it. So this is it. Now, you do not need to open it. Don't double click. Just select it and make sure that the name of that folder is what is showing here. And then click on select folder. Then let's watch what is going to happen. So this is like you are loading in a new project. So this is totally what? Empty. And what you have here is just your file. All right. So all of this, we did all this from the PyCharm what environment. There was no time that we went out to create a folder and call it in. These are some of the differences when you are using this. Now, the next thing is for you to create your file inside this folder. And this icon is for creating file, while this is for creating folder, which means that I could have just opened it, and then from here, I will make that folder. But since I have already created the folder, so that is why I have to call it in using the logic I use. So now you make sure that this icon is facing down. In other words, you make sure that you are in the folder before you make your file. So your first file, you can give it any name. I can say, make sure that you do not use words that are keywords in Python. For example, now don't save your file with print.py. It's going to what? Counter it. Because print is an inbuilt word function. So please, let's take note of that. So let's just say, let's say empower.py. Now, the moment you type that .py, you should be able to see Python icon. That is how you know that the extension exists. If you type this .py, if you have not installed the extension, you will see a pop-up message telling you that Python extension does not exist. Do you want me to install it? You click on install. Now, at that point, make sure that you are connected to the internet. So once you have typed your file, you click outside anywhere to acknowledge it. Once you click, you have activated the file. So with this, we are good to go. I just wanted us to understand. You can collapse your file by clicking on this icon to open it, or if you want to see your file structure. If you want to widen the space, you just click here so that you can just see only your file. Remember, I've explained this. This is the what? The extension. Why this is what? The run and debugging. When there is error and you want to find out where the error is. The why this is the source control, and the why this is for searching for a file. But the major feature you are going to be using will be what? This and this, this and this. All right. So now that we have been able to do that, we are also going to run our Python code in the terminal of this IDE until we get to developing Python GUI. Right. So for now, we will be executing all our code within the development environment, but in the terminal what section. So how do you access the terminal section here? Here, once you run your code, it will automatically open the terminal section. So comments, we are still looking at what? Python. There are a few things I want us to learn before we go into variable. Python basic syntax. So we need to get this cleared before we proceed properly. So I just showed us how you can increase it now. So I just press Control plus plus in order to increase the view size. Now, what we did yesterday, I showed us how we were able to use a single print command to print multiple words, multiple contents, or to repeat the same thing. So we're going to start with, sake of those that are writing, we are starting with string concatenation. So we're going to start with this. This is still under the basic things you should know. After understanding comments, print command, you want to look at what? String concatenation. Yesterday, I briefed us that string in programming, not just Python, means text or character-based what? Data type. So when I say string concatenation, this will only involve texts. We are not going to involve what? Number. So for example, if I want to print my name, maybe the two names are stored in different what? Variable. But because we have not started talking about variable, I don't want to use variable for any illustration until I start talking about variables so that we can focus on this basic syntax that we want to talk about. So let's say I want to print hello Prosper, hello Prosper. So I want to use single print command to output it. So that is, I want to show us how I will concatenate hello and prosper. That is the concatenation. The entire concept around that word concatenation means joining. All right, marrying two things together to form a different thing. So most time when we program, we concatenate a lot of things. So as we proceed, you will see us using this concept. All right, that is the reason why we are dealing with them at the basic level first. So if I just say print, remember I told us yesterday that when you are printing strings are to be enveloped in either a single quote or what? Double quote. So I'll do a single quote like this. So I'll do hello, right? Now I am coming out of this. I don't want to type hello Prosper at the same time. So I want to capture them as two different strings, right? Two different what? Entities. So which means that this first string holds what? Hello. So this string is just like a placeholder holding what? Hello. Now, whenever you are concatenating, the concatenation always introduce an operator called the plus. So you bring it here, bring in your plus, and then you will not concatenate, because I wouldn't want a situation where the two string will join each other. I want to have some space in between them. So which means that I am going to concatenate empty space before prosper comes in. And how do we speak that in Python? We put an empty string like this, and then you put what? The plus again. So which means that at the moment, I have concatenated what? Hello and what? Empty space. That is, after printing hello, print empty space before you print the next string. So the next string is what? Prosper. So this is what we call string concatenation. So if I run my code now to see the result, we should be able to see prosper, hello, prosper printed in the terminal. Please, I need just one person to unmute and say, sir, it is clear or not, so that I would know whether to explain it again. Like we did.
It is clear.
Okay, so I'm going to give room for question to avoid distracting the class. So just make sure that if you have any question while I'm going, write it down. Once that time comes, bring it out, and then we'll look at it together. All right, so this is, we are able to what? To concatenate. That is concatenation concepts. All right, now there is something I want us to understand which Python do not tolerate, and it is high time we learn it. There is what we call indentation. What I'm doing is I'm trying to settle this, that I call them basic syntax, minor thing that you have to start by knowing as you progresses, right? So let's look at what we call indentation, because sometimes you see your code throwing error just because you did not indent properly. Those of us that have learned Microsoft Word, I believe this word indents or indentation is not new to us. Indentation is talking about what? The space, the paragraph space. Now, look at it here. This is the space. So if I space this here now, you see that Python has what? Generated error. Just changing the indentation of the print, an error has been generated. So some of us, as we start this journey, you might forget that you are not positioning your code in the right indent, and you could troubleshoot from now till tomorrow and even generate some heading without knowing that is this space. But like I told us yesterday, part of the things you are learning is what? Debugging skill is part of programming skill that you need to learn. Ability to rectify problem, ability to know exactly where the problem is and be able to what? To solve it. The more problem you solve, the more the time of solving those problems reduces. All right. So now, if, for example, I want to debug, if I run it now, it's going to generate what? Error. You can see a lot of error. This one is the previous one that we have executed. Now, what error now? Look at the line. Say line 3. So the error is at what? Line 3. So one of the reasons why some, or let me not say some, one of the reasons why professional programmers using Python always love using Python, because Python has a lot of AI that will help you to, to debug faster than when you are using this. Now, look at this. If we are using Python like yesterday, we will have seen an arrow navigating somewhere telling us that angle bracket that was facing up, telling us where the error is. I think those of us that were here yesterday, you noticed that. That is the AI there, because that one is created for anything about Python. But here we are going to factor is ourselves. It said line 3. What is the complaint there? I told us something yesterday. Always focus on the key error before you go to the error explanation. Don't get threatened with all this plenty story. Leave all this plenty story. Go to the last line. What is last line? What is the error? Error name. The error name is what? Indentation error. So once you see that indentation, as a programmer, you already know, oh, it's paragraph space. So you will now be able to check the way you align your code. So once you run it, and then you get the problem what? Readouts. So these are how you debug. That is what I'm still trying to show us here. So that is for that. Now, let's look at yesterday. We printed new line. We printed new line. I believe that is settled. I don't think anybody should be having issue how we printed. Remember, we did something like this. We did something like this. If you remember, we did something like this. That is what? New line. That is what? Anything coming after should print in a separate line. So it's one of those things you need to know as the basic syntax. So let us quickly look at another function which still fall under basic Python. So which is, and I'll tell you the reason why we need to know this. So let's look at the next one, which is called what? Input function. Input function. I expect us to be making our notes. This platform will certify the students that we stay through based on requests. We can certify you. Like I told you yesterday that we are registered. So, but the criteria for you to obtain our certificate is not going to be just because we attended this. You must be able to pass our exam. So I would advise those that want certificates at the end of the training to make sure that you document, write your notes. We might ask you the notes you have documented, and then we conduct an exam for you, or we ask you to build an app, and then we'll see how it goes. So anything I write with comments, that is the topic. As I'm discussing, make sure that you are taking your notes. So let's look at input function. Now, this will bring us to what we call hard coding and soft coding. The what we call hard coding and soft coding. Remember that we are still talking about what? Basic Python syntax. Basic Python syntax. So what we did now, first under was string what? Manipulation. We did part of it. And remember what I did now is debugging in programming. We deliberately created that indentation error, and I show us the clue on how to rectify it. All right. Now let's assume that I want to collect data from users. I don't know the person that I want to greet. Let's say I want to greet, hello. I don't know the person, but I want to provide a container. I want to provide a placeholder. Then I will have programmed hello. Then the person will now answer by giving me his name, and Python will output hello, that name. You see, this is the app that we want to develop now. So the app is that we want to create a user input function. That is why we say what? Input, whereby user can give us, just like a website. When you enter a website, you see a form there. That form is actually designed to collect user what? Input. And whatever the person wants to collect will be labeled. That is why in that form, you will see a section that talks about label. Now let me use this diagram because we need to get some of these things known. Now, the form you see on the website, you are going to see something like this. You are going to see boxes. These boxes, they are called input. So this is actually what we want to create. So we want to provide a box expecting somebody to put in something. So here, what you want the user to put in here, you will not label it as what? Maybe you want the user's what? Name. And here, if you want the user to put maybe their states, you will not label it what? States. So I'm going somewhere. So that is input. So this is what? Input. So in Python, how do we create this input, which is used to collect user information dynamically? So now that we understand it, let me practicalize it for us to see. So, so here we will say print. Now I'll bring in, remember we just learned concatenation now, because we are going to concatenate the hello, which we have already given, with what we are expecting to collect from the user. So I will say, okay, before the user supply his or her name, I want what? To add hello, and then I will say plus. Then I will now bring in the input function that we are talking about, the input function. So this is just like you are nesting a whole function inside the print command. That is the printing, the input inside the printing inside, the input inside the print will be executed first. That is what it will collect the username, and then before what? Concatenating it with the hello, and then the print command will display it. So what do I want to collect from the user? So that is, I want to put a question on the user, which says what? What is your name? What is your name? So I'll put a question mark. All right. So what is your name? So if I run this code, what is going to happen? So it's asking a question here. What is your name? Now, this is where this is expected to be an app, maybe user interface. When we get there, you must have created a different interface where this particular information is being displayed. And then over there, the person will type, but now we are using this terminal as our what? GUI. So this is where you come. You come here. You don't type the name here. This is where you have to answer the question. You come here and type the name. So my name is Prosper. And then after typing your name here, you don't run it here. You press enter. So when you press enter, you don't go and run it over there. You press enter because you are already in the terminal. And then Python has executed what? Hello, Prosper. This is what we avoid here. This is the reason why we concatenated this empty space, which means that because you can see that the two words are meshed. So what I'm going to do is to go and recode it so that I can add concatenation. So where will I add the concatenation now? In this case. So hello, Prosper. Hello, input. So which means that after collecting this, there should be empty space. So this is where I'm going to concatenate empty space. And then I will now add another plus here. Add another plus here. All right. So if I run it now, I get a question. Then I click here. I type Eloho. So you can see that you can collect any name. And then you press enter. And then you see what? Hello, Eloho. There is no space. So I want to give us 2 minutes to attend to these tasks. 2 minutes, those that have Visual Studio Code or PyCharm. So before I continue, after the 2 minutes, I will ask at least one person to show me his or her screen. So 2 minutes to attempt this, just replicate the same thing. 2 minutes. Your time starts now. Within these 2 minutes, if there's someone that want to ask question, please go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I have a question now
Okay,
because
sir.
I'm working with Python.
PyCharm. Okay.
I'm not working with.
Congratulations, sir. Go ahead. Just go straight to your question.
Okay. My question is this: this print hello plus plus prosper. I try
Yeah.
to yes, I try to do it the same way you are doing it on
Visual
Visual Code.
Studio. Yes.
But I do it the same way on Python, but it's not giving me the same result.
Can you share your screen? These are the
Okay.
issues that we like so that we can all learn how to debug. Now, share your screen. Let me unshare my screen quickly. I don't want to
Okay.
exceed the 2 minutes, so let's be smart, please.
I beg you, remind me of where I go take share this thing. So,
There is a
hello?
share button. There is a share button. There is a share button there. There's a button that is written share after React. Just click on it. After React,
Okay.
click on it. Yeah, it's coming up now. It's coming up. Okay, and then you need to increase that PyCharm. Click on the maximize button. Let's see. You see, I've already seen your error, but just increase it so that we can see. Maximize it. All right. Now, I want somebody from this class that has been following to answer to correct this young man. Somebody who have been able to see the error. Can anybody debug this error for him? Just unmute and tell him what to do. Quickly, if you can. Somebody should be able. Look at the error.
Okay, sir. From what I notice, the parentheses he put is not in order.
Okay.
From what I notice, and at line 8, he did not put parentheses either before the plus or after the plus.
Good. Where is it? Line 8 or line 5?
No,
Is it
Line
line
line?
8
8.
is no the line.
The
Okay, I'm
error
talking about
is
line 5, sir.
the error is at line 5.
Error is line 5, not line 8. Line 8 is in
So
order.
can you look at line 5 and correct him?
Okay. At that line 5, he was supposed to put the first before the hello word, there was a parenthesis there, but before after the up this thing, he did not put any he did not close it. It's still open.
Okay. Oga,
The way in line 8, what is your name? He did not close it.
hope you can understand what he's saying. Now, you have 2 plus there, sir. You have 2 plus there. After the first plus, you open the quotes, then open another one before the second plus. Sir, if you can
Wait,
hear us,
after it,
you open, look at
I
it.
can
Good.
hear.
Yes, before the second plus, put the closing quotation there. Before the last plus,
Okay,
before the
okay,
last
before the last.
plus. Yes, complete it. You open one there, complete it. There have to be 2. I just hope you are able to decode. No, I say before. What you are adding now is after. Let's get the description right. I say before, not after. Good. Add it. You just open it. Good. Now you can see that the error has gone, right? Now run your code. Now
Okay,
let's see. Let's see whether you get your outputs. Did you get it
okay,
now? But though
yes.
the space did not implement because inside it you space. Inside those 2 string, you space. Inside the 2 quotation, you space. You did not space. Put your cursor inside and space, sir. The one you just
Okay,
close
inside
now.
here, inside.
Yes, inside that one, between the one you just close now and the one you open before. Put your cursor inside. No, yes, inside that place. Space, good. Or you run the code again. Press enter. You have to cancel it because you have already click on that red icon. Click on the red icon. Up, no. Click on the red icon. Yes, to terminate the process first. Now re-execute again. Click on that execution. Now you can see perfect. All right, so let's continue. Please let us continue. The 2 minutes I gave us has elapsed, and I know that we must have done justice to that code. Has any other person done it?
Yes.
Okay, so can you
But
share
I've
your
done my own.
screen? Let
Okay,
me see one more person. If you're man, please, can we
okay.
see your screen?
I don't know if
We,
there's
if you're man, if you can share your screen, do you know how to share your screen? Are you joining with laptop? Is this if you're man screen or we are still on?
yes,
Mr.
yes.
Imad,
Okay,
is this your screen? I don't think this is your screen. We are still. Is this your screen?
this is not my screen.
If I please on share, go back and click on that button, that red button on share. Once I'm done with you, you on share so that we can see other people's screen. I hope good. If you're my please, can you share your screen if you are joining with laptop? If you are joining with
I'm
laptop, do you know how
I'm using
to?
my phone.
Oh, sorry. But have you done it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. All right. So let's proceed. Uh,
Okay.
I don't want to
I
attempt
think
to.
I'm
Okay, you can show us. Okay. Yes, we can see it. Okay, we can see it. Okay, you are joining with your phone, but you are writing the code on your laptop. Okay, now I get.
yes.
Okay, what you would do next time, you can just snap it and send it to that group, that paid group, so that we can look at it. All right. Let's proceed, guys. I'll be coming back to other persons. And I expect everybody to have outputted this. Now, we want to go into variable properly. Now we have understood the basic concepts. So I want to talk about variable. Variable. I want to talk about variable. So we are gradually becoming programmers. Congratulations. We are gradually becoming. Now we have understood the basic syntax, those minor things that you need to know before you start working with variables. So let's quickly discuss variable. Let's discuss variable. Python variable. Variable are used to hold values within a program. Variables are used to hold values within a program. Now, let me explain why in programming you cannot do without variables. If I want to build an app, let's say a calculator, whatever app it is, the first question you are going to ask yourself is, those information that will be used to build that app, are they all keywords in the program? In other words, a keyword is a function that is already in the program as input. Because for you to build any form of app, being it simple, being it complex app, you will definitely need data to work with. That is why after this variable, we will start looking at what? Data types. So the question is, how are you going to introduce those information that you need in the course of building the app into the what? The program. So that is where you need variable. So that is why I said variables are used. In other words, when you say something is used to hold something, which is value, it means it's a container. So I can redefine variable as containers used in holding values within a program, right? Within the program memory, the container. So for example, everything that we have designed, you will agree with me that if I shut down this system now and start it, the input you have collected, the person's name you have collected, will no longer what? Cannot be located anywhere because it was just a display. You asked for the person's name, the person gave you the name, and you display it in the terminal. Now, you did not store that name anywhere so that you can reuse it. So one of the reasons why we create variable and store value in them is that so that in the course of the programming, anytime I need that value, I don't have to what? Reprogram it. I will just be calling the value from the variables. Just like the way you call this print. We are not the one that embedded this function. This function has been created and stored in Python as a keyword. And what we did is just to call it out. I hope somebody understand that. Now that we know what variable is, let's look at variable syntax before we start looking at some of the examples. In fact, that will lead us to the example, variable syntax. Now, what is syntax? Variable syntax means what? The rule that needs to be followed when you are declaring variable. The rules that need to be followed when you are declaring variable. Whenever you are speaking variable, what are the rules to be followed? And there's a standard syntax you must know. And if one part of that syntax is missing, you will not get the expected what results. So the variable syntax implies that the first part, there are three parts that makes up a variable. The first part is the what? The variable name. The variable name, that is the first part. The second part is value assignment operator. And the third part is the value. The third part is the value. All right? The third part is the value. So you must always understand that anytime you declare variable, these three parts must exist. If you miss any one, you will get a Python error. Thank God I have taught us how to identify error. So let's quickly look at a simple example so that you see how I'm going to, so that we can identify these three parts. So let's look at this simple example. So here, I'm going to make it a word problem. So example here, create a Python variable. Create a Python variable that hold a string. Now, anytime I use the word string, I'm talking about text-based word data type. So what is the string I want it to hold? Let's say what, e.g. prosper. A variable that we acknowledge prosper in the program memory so that as I continue with my programming, anytime I need prosper, I can call the name of the container and then the container will vomit the value inside it. So take note of this variable naming principles. Variable naming principle, because I said the first part of variable is the name. So there is a principle, or there are principles that need to be observed. There are rules where you are naming. And one of them is that you must not use a keyword. I cannot come and say print equals to. No, it's not allowed because print is already used in Python to store a command. So we must not use keyword. Another variable naming principle is that you must not start a variable with number. The naming. Let's say you want to use 1, 2, 3 prosper. You can use prosper 1, 2, 3, not starting it with number. It's not allowed. And do not use number or true. You can say prosper, put number, but don't start with number. Another principle is that when you are naming your variable and there is a situation where you want to name your variable with two words, for example, Eguero, prosper, the law says that you should either merge them together or you add an underscore in between them. So for example, I can say prosper underscore Eguero as my variable name is allowed. Now, coming to the case. If you have done Microsoft Word, you understand what is called casing. We call it change case, where you change from capital letter to small letter and the rest. We have uppercase, lowercase, sentence case, toggle case, and capitalize each word case. Now, just for you to understand what case is. Now, the conventional rule for naming for applying the case is that you use what we call camel case. We have Pascal case, we have camel case, but most time we use what? Camel case. Camel case is where out of those two words, the first one, all the character will be what? Small letter. But any other word that comes, the first letter should always be capital letter. So after putting underscore, I'll say, okay, Eguero, the first letter will be what? Capital letter. If I want to use three words, then the same thing, put underscore, the first letter, let's say Eguero, Edejoro. This is also allowed. If you are using this camel case, it means that what? Only the first word, all the letters there should be small letter or lowercase. Then every other word, the first character should be uppercase, while the rest maintain lowercase. So these are some of the basic rules you must follow. Let me recap. You must not use Python keyword as your variable name. 2, you must not start naming your variable with number. 3, this one is just like a standard practice. It's not a kind of rule that if you don't obey, it will not work. I can decide to make everything what? Small letter, small letter. That will still work. But, you know, in programming, we have standard practice, what people use most, which sometimes may not be a standard rule or compulsory rule. All right? So now the whole of this, is my variable name. That is the first part. If I try printing this, if I tell Python, so that you know that you have not completed the syntax, if you come here now and try telling Python, you can see that the moment I type the first 3 letter or 2 letter, it brings it out, which means that what? That word is now a keyword, is now registered in Python that I can just pick. And then if I try running the code, I'm going to get error. Look at the error here. Good. You can see this is navigating, that the variable syntax is not complete. You only gave name and you did not give what? Assignment. You gave name and assignment, but you did not give value. Now, remember what I told you. Always focus on the error name first. Syntax error. Now, if I remove this, equals to and print, the error title will change. I just want us to know. The error title will change. It's this syntax error, but look at what is happening now. Invalid word syntax. Invalid syntax. Now, so let me qualify the 3 aspects of variable. This equal sign is called assignment operator. It is not equality as we know it in mathematics. In programming, 2 equals to like this is what represents what? Equality. So when you say Prosper underscore Eguero Edejoro is receiving, because it's a string, is receiving Prosper. So that is why I said this is an assignment operator. This is just like the pipe that is piping the value into what? This as a container. So this is a container, and the name of the container is what? Prosper. So if I print this, what Python will print, what you ask Python to print is not the value. Don't come inside print and say you type the value direct. You call the container. So Python knows that once you call a container, you want to see what is inside the container. So what Python will do is to give you what? The value there. So if I run it now, there will not be what? Okay, so I'm getting error here. Where is the error? Let's look at it. The error is what? Name error. Name error. Name error. Let me go and check. So this is a good one. Let's debug it. It's talking about what? Name error. Okay, so having this, let's put, let me change this to name. And then remember that I have to what? Change this also to name. Name error, I think this error because I think what we do now is that to be sure, let's temporarily what? Comment this out. Because sometimes you could be getting those error because of the preceding commands. So you see it now? So this is one thing that debugging experience will teach you. Because that other program that we're running, which is the input, we have not collected the name we are asking for, and we want to output this name. So even the first one I deleted will have still worked, where I use prosper underscore Eguero if I had what commented this out. So sometime when you are debugging, you need to comment something so that you can focus on the one you are executing. All right? So we are able to see the results. But that is not where we are going. So it's just for you to understand the variable syntax. Now, in summary, don't forget what I said. Variables are container used to hold value in programming. Now, which means that henceforth, Prosper is now registered. So if for any reason, I want to print that code that we print the other time, remember what we printed here? Here, where we concatenated. So I can do something like this. I can come here and do something. No, sometimes I don't like, deleting. Instead, I will comment because I may come back to it. So let me temporarily comment it out. That is one of the good practice. Now, if I come here and say print, so I want to concatenate what I have in the variable, and I want to greet Prosper. I'll say hello. I'll now come here and concatenate. Just pay attention to what I want to do here. Concatenate. I want empty space as well. Space it inside. Then come here, add the plus, and then call the name of the variable. You see the logic now? So which means that instead of you typing hello Prosper, you know that you have already said Prosper in a variable. So you can always call it anytime, anywhere you need it. So if I run this code now, you can see it has given me the output. So that is why I said variables are used to hold value, but there's a reason why you are holding that value. You are holding that value so that in the course of your programming, you can always call those values from their respective variable. So for you to build an app, there are going to be a lot of variables. You create a variable and store different things there, and those information you are holding in those variables are what you will bring from different places to form the application. So that is why when you are registering maybe with WAEC or JAMB, and you make mistake in your name, they will call out the variable that stores your name the first time and modify it and then save again. Then they will collect that money from you, and then when next you check the website, your correct name is there. So the one that you cannot change, like date of birth, based on the algorithm or the flow chart of the programming. Probably there are other places where they need to go and update that information, date of birth. Maybe they have reused it for some security reason in multiple places that they have to start revisiting. That is why they will tell you that it is not changeable once you supply it to what they are only trying to tell you that so that you don't go and make mistake, because it's going to take them time, because they cannot just update it from one place. They have to start, if possible, from some area before they can get to. So they don't want to engage themselves in such stress. That's why they will just tell you, remember, we cannot change this information once you enter it once and for all. And in that case, they will use a Python data type call what? Tuple, to hold it. When we get there, you understand it. I want somebody to unmute and say, sir, we are following. Please let me know if I'm talking to people. One person.
We are following. Give me your
Thank
power
you.
bank.
Okay,
Follow it.
thank you. Thank you. All right. So now we want to run this code, this input. We want to run this code again. And what are we trying to achieve here? This time around, we want to collect the input and store it. So when we ask for their name, hello, Prosper, the Prosper should be saved in a variable so that tomorrow we can reuse it instead of just displaying it. So in that case, how are we going to achieve that? So I will temporarily comment this out. So what I'm going to do to save my time, I will just copy the whole of this line. Sometime you will have to learn how to copy some section of your code and do some modification and move on. Now, I will just uncomment it. Just remove this, become live code. So what will I do here? I will just equate this. I will just say what? This whole exercise should be equal to what? Name. Now remember that I have already used what? Name. So I have to say, let's say what? Name 2. So which means that if I run this code, so temporarily, let me comment this one out. So if I run this code and it asks for my name and I type Jude and I press enter, you can see what? Hello, Jude. So going forward, the name that I collected from Jude is stored here. But when we now get to the GUI, we will now use SQL to create a database that will be storing all this. So we can go to a place and say we want to call out the person's biodata, because we must have stored them in in database. That is, if you follow through to that section. Now, I want to believe that I want to give us 1 minute to carry out the task. For those that have our ID installed, please remember some of the things we did. Perform the task. Let me remove this. Perform the task. Perform the task for, let me make it 2 minutes. Perform the task quickly so that we can move to the next topic. While that is going on, if you have questions, this is an opportunity. You want to commend our efforts. You want to say something about the class, whether it's going well or it's not going well. If you are not coding, no, if you are not busy, or maybe as I was writing my code, you were also writing. That means you should be relaxing, so you are free to say something. HP, how are you doing with it? How are you doing? Let's hear from you. Are you writing code, HP? HP, if you can hear me, can you unmute and respond? Maybe HP is not here. Samsung SM A055F, how are you doing? I hope everything is going well. Matthew, hope everything is going well. Boris Sade, how are you doing? All these people that I'm calling, I hope they are here. I should be getting response.
Okay, we are coping. So I'm coping little by little. So I don't know anything about coding before, so I just have to take my time.
Okay. Well, are you right? You are coding there, right? Are you writing the code?
I'm trying to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I hope you are learning something.
Of course, of course.
Okay. All right. So the video will be available. Make sure that you sit with it, play it over and over. That is one of the advantage of a live class like this. You can always revisit the video and master things. Most time, what you actually do when you attend live session like this, you pay more attention, you note that things, then later you sit down and begin to break them down. What is better when we give class work like this, you attempt some so that you don't leave everything for assignment. Okay,
Hello,
so
sir.
yes, if I go ahead.
I would love to share my screen because
There's an
there's
error there.
I'm trying to comment on how will I use the Python language to speak it now.
You can
I'm
use
trying
your
to
Igbo language to speak it, but you are still learning the
okay,
language.
okay. I'm trying to give a comment to a word. Let me say it like that. But I'm getting some error in the code, so I don't know if I can share my screen and show you what I'm doing over here.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. Okay. Shall I go on?
Yes.
Okay. This place now, written name. I want to comment on this name here now. But if I put the comment, this print, this name here and this name here is giving me error. These two places.
Uh, I think somebody should be able to correct you. I love to hear from students first. So I shouldn't be the only teacher here. Somebody should look at his code. No, 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 no. The error is not from there. I've
Oh,
seen the error, but I want to see whether somebody who is learning debugging can help us out. It's part of the training. And then you have to also start developing your debugging skill. Can anybody look at the code and tell us now where you have that line, that red line, hover on it. When you hover on it, while I'm waiting for somebody to explain to him, you will get a kind of message. What did you get there?
okay.
Unresolved.
Unresolved reference.
Can somebody use that information to assist this young man? Nobody here. I should be having debuggers.
I think what happened there, where that line 12,
Please take it
you
back to the way it was. Let's have one error. No, 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 no. Don't comment.
Okay.
the
Put
line
everything
12,
back so that he can attend to you at once. Take it back. Take it.
Okay.
Hold on, Mr. Who is speaking? Victory, right? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Always increase your screen, please, when you are showing all things. I don't want to be showing
Okay.
the Zoom app. Cover the whole of that Zoom interface. So that whoever want to assist you will see what.
the, the, the line 12, he commented instead of taking it as a variable. So he commented the line 12. That was
Okay,
why we was having that
are
error.
you hearing it now? That is where the
You get
error is. So you have to buy Mortal Guinness for victory. Thank God that you are in Asaba victory. In Asaba, you will see victory. If I,
Okay. No shake.
oh
so
yeah,
you
look
remove
at
the hash, that hash.
that hash before the name where you store prosper. No, the next line, line 12. He has mentioned line 12. Go to line 12, Mr. Ifai. You
Uh-huh.
are remove the
I'm still
hash. Remove the hash before the name. Because that hash means comment. You are telling
okay.
Python alpha. Did you see the error again?
No.
Perfect.
But in your explanation, are you hearing me, sir? You
I'm with you.
commented on this name. So I'm just trying to follow.
I did not comment on the name at the time I was executing. I removed it when I wanted to verify. I remember that I later changed the name to name 2 because I know I've commented the first name out. So I didn't, maybe you were not following it properly. I commented that section, and if I wanted to work with it, I wouldn't have commented it. Maybe at that time, I don't need it. That is why I commented it. All right, I believe that is set. So let's proceed. Let's proceed. Now, this is what it's saying. This is what we are saying here. I just brought, okay, maybe this is what is deceiving you. This is it here, sir. Okay, now I concord with what you are saying. You are trying to copy this. Oh, now I understand. I was only trying to bring them. You know, I commented everything before, and I don't want you to execute only this line as your classwork. I wanted you to start your execution from here. So that is why I brought this to life. So, okay. So the next thing probably might be the last thing, the last topic, so that we can go and sit down with all this before the next class. Coding is gradually, particularly at this point that we are working on the foundation, I will make sure that the speed is slow and steady so that once we get the foundation well, every other thing will be easy, because when we get to where we start building some apps now, you see how you see some abracadabra trying to invoke what the logic that we just use here now, probably in 10th class, the 10th class. And then somebody who did not take time to understand this, we just say, how did this one just came now? And meanwhile, I just try to reflect what we have done before. So that is why understanding the basic, slow and steady is very important. So the next thing I want to show us tonight before I open the line for interaction, if there's any, there's none, we close, go and master everything. You can even expand your scope from what we have done. There are many other things you can do within this same topic that we have covered. Okay, so the next topic is checking the length. Checking the length of the inputs. So we have a function in Python, which, for example, what exactly? So if I run this particular code now, if I run this particular code, what is your name? I don't want this one for now. You can see what I'm saying now. I don't want this for now. That is why I'm commenting them. I don't want them for now. I just want to focus on the last line because I mentioned inputs. Now, by the time you print this, the name will be stored here, right? Now, I want to count how many words, how many characters are in the name the person must have supplied, or the number of character. Yes, the person must have supplied it before it can count it. So if I run this now, as it is now, let me remove this, except I want to reprint print name 2. Well, let me use this print. So if I run this and I supply, for example, Aguero, and I press enter, it say hello Prosper. So what I want to achieve is that I want it to count how many characters are in Prosper. That is what I want to output, not necessarily what the person. I don't want to see the Prosper. I want to know how many characters are there. So I can decide to remove the word, the hello. So we can focus on this only. So there is a Python function called learn. There is a Python function called what? Learn. Let me put it in the brackets here. Learn. That learn is a function which is used to count the lengths. And the length of a word is by counting the numbers of words or character in it. So the emphasis is on this function. So when we start writing complex app, you will see at some point, like password, when you create an input for password and you create certain criteria. And that is why sometimes when you are creating a password, is either on Facebook, I'm just trying to cite where the programmer will have used this function. You are creating a password and they are telling you that what? The password must not be less than 5 characters. So the question you ask yourself, when you enter 2 characters, what informed that program that is not up to 5? So which means that the programmer have already programmed the len on that input, that as soon as the person start typing the counting, if it is not equal to 5, display, when we get to control structure, that's where we learn if statement. If it is not equals to 5, display what? The number must be up to this. But if it is equals to 5, then accept it. So that is one of the program where the len must have been used. So now, but in our own case, we want to collect input and we want to count the name, the character in that name. So how are we going to write it? The syntax is we are simply going to write it this way. We are going to say print, and then we will nest the len is a function. Inside the len, you will now put what? The inputs. And then you will now add your string and say what? What is your name? What is your name? All right. So I can come here and do something like this. I put this here and say what? And remember what we did the other time. You can just come here and concatenate. I'm only trying to go edit. All right, so I don't know if you were still hearing me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so now I'm trying to give us the order how our Python will execute these 3 functions. It will execute this one first, collect the person's name, pass it to what? To this, and then if it is 4 character, and then submit it to print to output to you. So that is the order. So let's run the code and see. So I type, let's say what? Aguero as my name. I press enter. And then what do you get here? We are supposed to, what is your name? Yeah, we repeated the code. I need to comment this one out where I do not have the len because I have already created the full code so that we can focus on that very one. Right, so let me run just this line. Right, so you can see it. It returned, what do we have here? 1, 0. How did we arrive at that? how did we arrive at that? So let me run it again. I want to check something. Prosper. Okay, so it's perfect now. So you can see that it counted what? 7 instead of showing us the value, because that is what we want to get. All right. So any question, please? Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? I will just show us one more thing and then we call it the night. Do we have any question? All right, so as we all know, since we don't have question, I will just give updates about this platform. Now, don't forget that tomorrow will be live for cybersecurity. For those that are interested, you have a loved one who would love to be there. But the funny part of it is that if you don't join on time, you may not have access, because this line can only take 100% per meeting. So by tomorrow, once we get the first 100, there will be room except somebody would log out. So if you know you want to be part of it, make sure that you position to secure your slot. So this platform offers other training, not just Python programming. We train on website development using different languages, both front end and back end, where you'll be exposed to HTML, CSS, JavaScript for the front end development. In the back end development, we have languages like SQL, PHP, and then of course you learn how to put it on the internet, which is called hosting. We also offer data analytics. Very soon we are going to announce a master class for data analytics. We might also announce a free session before the master. So why we are now the free session is to give people an opportunity to check us if truly they can trust us with their registration. The data analytics class, and one of the reasons why you are learning this Python, you should have a purpose. The purpose could be that you want to learn it to the extent where you can build app and make money, or build game and make money, or you want to actually use it in other domains like data analytics, cyber security, and AI automation or generative AI. There are so many areas you can use Python, like I told us yesterday, right? So you have a target. So if that is why I encourage us in the group that those that want to go for cybersecurity, they should register for this section. And those that would like to learn data analytics from us should as well register, because Python is used in those areas. So having this knowledge will give you a kind of a cutting edge, give you upper hand, and then you'll be able to talk to data freely because you understand the language, right? So we also train on graphic design, and then we have programs that you can easily learn and start making sharp money. One thing in tech, maybe one of these days, I will organize a mentorship, or let's say, can I call it a kind of a counseling section, like consultation, where I allow people to just join and then counsel individual. A lot of us, we go into a technology with proper words, purpose. And at the end of the day, you spend your fund and your time. Just imagine somebody learning a program for 6 good months. And after the program, he expects that the next month you start making money, and it's not forthcoming. That could happen because of what? Wrong priority or choosing wrongly. So I am a tech consultant. Apart from training, I've spent, like I told the people that joined yesterday, this is the 20th year in this. So I can tell you, I have tested almost all the domains, even the domains that I'm not in fully. I have an idea of what happened there. I can guide you. All right. So you can you can schedule a session with me for consultation. It is very important. This is the same mistake a lot of people make when they want to study course in university. They spend 4 years studying, course that even in the current generation, it's not really making any impact. Not to talk of the next generation. And these are the reasons why some persons fails when they finish learning the program in tech and they are promoting themselves consistently, nothing is happening. All right? So I can tell us that I feed my family with test skills for these 20 good years. This is what I earn from. So I'm telling you all this so you know that if you develop yourself, if you are well guided, you should be able to know. And one of the advice I want to give to us, this is just like a free, because free mentorship session now. I want to use this remaining time till 9 because you need this information. You need this information. Somebody need to guide you. If you tell me the course you study in school, I can tell you a program that we align if you don't want to deviate from that word domain. And if your purpose is to switch from that practice to tech, I can also guide you on short time program that can fetch you money. And let me tell us this. One of the things that kept me going or that keep me going is that I use the previous skill to raise money and learn new skills. That is the logic. If not, tech is very expensive. Learning tech skill is very expensive. It's very expensive. It's very expensive. That is just it. And the funny part of it is that you can be in this particular domain. The next 2 years, the world has gone ahead of you, and then you become obsolete. You start looking for job without knowing that technology advances so fast that if you are not advancing, if you are not aware of the trend, you can be swept what? Out of the system easily. Somebody will now ask that, sir, how come only you are taking cybersecurity? How come only you are taking data analytics? I have some few persons here that are in my data analysis class. If I'm training there, you will not see the difference. You will not see the difference because I have programmed my memory. If I'm taking you cybersecurity, I switch my brain. My brain has different section. When I switch it, like tomorrow now, like this night now, once I'm done with this, I will switch it to the physical job I'm doing. So just to encourage you. So you can see I am making money remotely now. And tomorrow morning by 8 to 5 p.m., I'll be at NIT Asaba as one of their leading faculty. And I will also be training some of this program there. And I'm earning salary for it. And then you can see this one, I'm also making money from this. So when somebody tell you that I'm in tech, there's no money, go and check very well. Is that they have chosen wrongly or they have not developed themselves to become professional? The job is for professional. Develop yourself to the point that you are not sackable. I have one of the staff that is also in this group. He can attest to that. If your boss should be able to look at you and be afraid whether this person is going to sack us, not I've never been sacked in my life anywhere I go. Instead, I'm the one that usually sack them. If I say I want to go, they will say, it's not pride. It's just because I spend time in development. 3 a.m., I'm awake. After all this training at 3 a.m., I'm awake. Sometimes I have morning classes. I have classes that I teach 5 a.m. towards 7 a.m. before I opt out for the physical job. So you can see it's something that I would love doing. No matter how, I can never be tired. Those that know me, by the grace of God, I don't fall sick. Even, you look at all these ones that, it is. I do it easily. This is not what is giving me headache. I have taken time to build them in me. They are part of me. So I don't find it stressful when I am doing it. But where you see it as work is when they are not part of you. You are busy cramming, and all of that will make the look tedious. So it's very important that you choose an aspect. So just to round up, there are the whole test skills that we have today can be divided into two. And that depends on your objective. If I ask you, there are some of us that don't like working for people because of who we are. We don't like subjected to instruction. We don't like somebody giving us instruction. So we want to be self-employed. That is the major driver of some of us. We don't want somebody to command me. I want to do my things myself. There is huge advantage of working with organization because there are things you learn when you work. You work because you want to gather experience that you will eventually use when you become yourself. So if for one reason or the other, just engage working with someone for 6 months. One, so that you pay the price. For example, if you have never worked for anybody and somebody work for you and come late, you will not understand. And when you are disciplining that person, don't come late too. You will not understand because you have not worked for anybody where lateness will have cost you something. So there are things you learn when you learn test skills like this. Try to associate. Association will give you network. Tech, you work in team. You don't work alone. No matter how you might look at me that I'm an expert, I have some boss that I look up to in some areas that I call when it took me. Because one person cannot have the whole experience. This same pattern you are learning from us now. Go and follow someone's video. This same variable, the person may not use this example that I use, but he may treat this same topic, but use different example. So that one plus this one making it two. And then when you want to stand tomorrow to teach or to explain things, you have different direction you can explain it from. So you have to sit down and look at this whole program. If you are the type that love programming, it's not all of us that can actually withstand the stress of programming till advanced level. Some of us could just learn it just for you because this knowledge is required in the area you want to go into. Some of us, we are in here not to become professional that will build app like OP and the rest. But at least since they say Python is required in data analysis, that is my view, then you just need the average knowledge of it so that you can do better in that domain. That is the purpose. Now, to close, if you want to be self-employed, there are programs I will recommend for you. And you should not say because those ones are not trending. Just like today now, for example, cybersecurity is the top trending tech domain now, presently. It used to be data analytics. Well, it's not as if data analytics is not trending. Well, it's just that the attention has been divided. Out of the people that were concentrating on data analytics, now many of them, their attention is now divided into cybersecurity. And some do not even understand what it entails. Cybersecurity you have to work with organization for some time before you can even say you want to be self-employed or want to become a consultant. So if you are the type that wants sharp, maybe all this handy test kit, one, go and learn graphic design, digital marketing. You see this courses that I just mentioned now. They are sharp program that you can learn within short time and be able to what? To make money. While you are making that money, you can now start learning another one if you want. Because one thing in tech is that, but if you are lucky, you choose an area where will last for decades, then you may not really go obsolete. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just have to bring in that aspect to advise us so that we can have vision as we go on this journey. I don't want anybody that have registered for this to finish learning this without knowing where he or she is going. You should be able to convert this towards money. You should convert this to a purpose. So I don't know if I have made sense. You have one comment, just one comment, because it's already time, so that we can go. And make sure that you go through the videos, the 2 videos we have recorded before next Saturday. So it's a good time for you to really understand, stay with the video, digest everything before the next class. Any comment, please? Do we have any comments?
Yes, sir. The comment there, just thank you very much for today's session. Quite an amazing session again, as usual. Thank you very much. And today again is so amazing. Oh.
Thank you.
I really learned a lot. I must appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You are welcome. Just keep recommending this platform for people around you to learn, to connect with. Any other comment, please, for those that are still here? Any other comments before I close the meeting? Any other?
To appreciate you.
Thank
It's
you,
been
sir.
a fantastic period.
Thank you, sir.
Seriously. We'll always be with you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm already looking for candidates to join.
Thank you, sir.
And that's the problem.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate. We appreciate.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
All right. So we stop here because of time. Thank you also for joining. All right. So in case you come across this video on the internet and you want to reach out to us via WhatsApp, just kindly WhatsApp us on +2347069665919. And you can also contact us via our website. There's a link that is added there, which you can click on, and that will take you to the community group where we have a lot of persons following us. Then you get updates on classes like this. .com.ng. Right, so you can follow me on Facebook. There are a lot of activities. I give a lot of updates on Facebook. Just search for Eguero Prosper on Facebook. You can check out there. And then, of course, on YouTube, you can search for search for Eguero Prosper. Then, because of comment, you can search for Eguero Prosper on Facebook. You should be able to see my picture there. Then send me friend requests. I'll be glad you follow us on Facebook. On YouTube, we have, I think as at yesterday, when I checked, we are going closely to 350 videos, including this video will be there. So you can check us at Digitech, Zeal, Hub. On TikTok, we are very much active on TikTok. You can check us at Digitech. Then the only difference is that you add dots. You add dots in between. So we are on TikTok. So follow us on this platform to get updates. We have a lot of programs that will be coming up. Some will be free, some will be master classes. So we have a way of giving back to the society that is blessing us. And that is why we do organize free training session. And then we give an opportunity to individuals to trust us and to see what they can achieve before investing their fund. All right. Okay, good night, everyone. Thank you. See you Saturday and Sunday this week. Bye for now.